How is everybody? It's a little early. There was, I've been doing this BI thing for the past 15 years, ever since they first launched here in New York. Um, and I always expect there will be some curveball at some point, somewhere in the format, in the program. So today we were supposed to go live at 10:15. And we had scheduled an hour in the morning to prepare. But then we get this message, like the last 15 minutes before. It's like, hey, we got this other group that can't make it. And can you do it? And I sort of hummed and hawed and whatnot. It's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah. And so this is it. It's without morning prep. So this is raw. You all love authentic, right? Yeah. Everybody talks about authentic. Well, this is about it, right? So today's conversation is about a very unique business, by the way. If you came here to learn about what's the role of AI in marketing, there is only one question we will answer today, for which you don't get a straight answer. Hang tight. We're getting there. Okay? So, with that, I am, as Vito introduced me, I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at Illumin. Illumin is a journey AI platform. What does it do? Well, it connects the dot for the consumer across just about every possible touch point imaginable on the open web, through the walled gardens, you name it. And there is amazing advantage and arbitrage associated with that. But today's conversation is not about that. Today's conversation is focused on MoneyLion. It's an amazingly good business. I do have background in AI, by the way, just in case I'm not faking it. I did my master's degree from the AI laboratory at MIT way back in the late 80s, early 90s. My specialty was computer vision and robotics, mobile robotics. That's where the early LLM models were actually developed in vision, and they have evolved over time. And so there's a lot here in terms of what AI's relevance is, and I've spent a ton of time in marketing for over the last 3 decades. So, Cynthia, on to you.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, he's a big deal. I mean, he just gave a tiny introduction of who he is, but if you want to learn about AI in marketing, he's the one to learn. He is also, you don't talk in public, I guess, at this point in your career about the fact that you are the co-founder of one of the first ever digital ad agencies, Digitas, that I wanted to work at when I graduated from business school. So when they told me I was going to get to talk to you, I was like, okay, I'm going to learn. Maybe I'll be able to teach a little bit or to share, but I'm very excited to sit here with you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Cynthia, our audience here generally is very interested in learning what is it that a person goes through to become a CMO?
Sure. First characteristic, be a masochist, because marketing always gets blamed when things doesn't work and never gets the credit when things work, right? I'll tell you about my journey. I started my career at Nestle doing brand marketing, and now I think of the framework that I used, that I obviously didn't use it, didn't plan it, but when I look back, this was the framework. I went to learn brand marketing at a CPG. That's where you want to learn brand marketing. Then I wanted to get closer to the consumer in a D2C business. So I went to learn digital marketing in a smaller company. I don't know if you guys remember Guild Group. That's where I did retention marketing, which is kind of the easiest path. If you're not an expert in digital marketing, I found it easier to start in retention, email marketing, and then I ran a performance marketing at Bonobos, and Walmart acquired Bonobos, and then I had the opportunity to work at Walmart at a larger scale using everything that I learned. And I say that the framework is you go learn in a CPG brand marketing, you go learn performance marketing in a company that has very little money. You don't learn performance marketing in a company that has like hundreds of millions of dollars, because you really don't have to be optimizing to the cent. And after like 5 years at Walmart doing retail marketing, I wanted to go to a company that was driven by technology. And fintech was an industry that was interesting to me, but I also thought, how different can it be? Like, I can sell anything. Well, let me tell you, selling financial services is very different. The main difference, which is very related to AI, is that it's one of the only industries in which you have to apply to be able to buy a product. You know, like in retail, you see the pair of pants, you go buy them. In financial services, we invite you to apply for a personal loan. We invite you to apply for a credit card. So every touch point that we as marketers send out has to be almost pre-qualified. Otherwise, it's a waste.
Of course.
So that's like the biggest learning for me, to go from retail to fintech, and that's it.
Perfect. So what this says is there isn't really a straight linear path to a CMO. There's a variety and diversity of experiences that you've gained, and you've always had an ambition to learn something new, something different. And I think that's really what you want to take away from this. Let's start with, just for the audience to know, there is a rationale for the staging of this whole conversation. Let me tell you what we're going to do. Number one, we want to first understand MoneyLion, her business. We want to get to know the product, understand that. There's a lot going on there, right? And then we will focus on how do you market that thing? And then what does it have to do with AI? All right? You see? You good? All right? You with me? Okay, great. So what is MoneyLion and who needs it?
Sure. I'll give you a tiny history lesson of the last 10 years. In the last 10 years, the financial services industry has seen a really rapid stage of innovation driven by something called open banking, which means everybody can have their accounts connected. And it makes much, much easier. It lowers the barrier for new entrants and entrants in the industry, and it lowers the barrier for you as a user to go open an account in a different institution. So historically, financial services were incentivized to only bring people that had a lot of money and that had big bank accounts, which meant most Americans were underbanked or unbanked. With OpenAI being born, anybody could benefit from the benefits of having a financial institution with you, which means you can have a bank account and not pay $20 to have the bank account. You can have an account where you can get paid early if the bank knows when you're going to get paid. So there's been a lot of innovation, and that was when all the neobanks were born. COVID accelerated this trend because nobody wanted to go to the bank, and there was a boom. MoneyLion was one of the neobanks that started. It started 10 years ago. It grew a lot during the pandemic. But what happened is that we realized that there were hundreds that looked exactly the same. And it's very hard to make money in an industry where there's no differentiation, everybody's stealing customers from each other, and also the margins are very small. So we pivoted and we decided, you know what? Instead of leveling the playing field like for every America, the way that everybody else is doing it, we're going to create a different type of fintech. A fintech that actually empowers people to reach financial freedom. Because if you think about the North Star of every company, it's not like to get more bank accounts. There's a larger mission. And our mission was always, we want less Americans to be stressed about debt. We want more Americans to have money to retire, to really enable them and empower them. With financial products, it's not enough because they don't know which products to take. And also, they make wrong decisions. Most of us make impulsive decisions about money. So somebody that doesn't have money in their bank account, buying crypto, that's insane. So we wanted to make sure that we were using the insights from people to educate them on how to money. So we said, okay, besides products, why don't we give them guidance? But that guidance has to come in the way that currently Americans consume content, which, let me tell you, it's not a blog post. The way that Americans are learning, they're going to TikTok, they're watching 30-second videos. So we created, and you'll see it in the video, a feed that is personalized for every user based on their financial situation, that using content that looks very much like TikTok teaches you how to make financial decisions. And using AI, it puts in front of you the decision that is going to get you closer to financial freedom. We're in this for years. Like we know it's not going to take a month for somebody to reach financial freedom. So we use AI to really take them in that journey. The last thing that we realize is that money topics are very are taboo, are very lonely. People don't want to say, I made a bad decision and now I'm in debt. They don't want to ask for money from others, so they end up going to predatory lenders, payday loans. And where do they turn to? Reddit. They go to Reddit or they go to social media and they talk to others. They create their own communities that are going to have their back. Why don't we have that community in our app? So those are the three pillars of our product. We have all the financial products that you can need. Some are first party, some are third party. We have content in the form that people want to consume it. And we have a community of people that are going through similar stages, that talk to each other, that help each other out, and that even, I wouldn't say lend each other money. We have a product in which somebody can increase the lending limit of each other by $10, just to
Got it. Okay. So are we clear now? There are several things going on. There is a clear purpose here to solve the problem of not having enough information, not having guidance, and so forth, and a platform that's created, which is all content to drive guidance, and then the community to really feel comfortable about making those decisions, making those choices. Let's show the video, please.
I'm going to assume that this is what I'm supposed to push.
Is he going to play over there? All right. Well, there you go. Just about everything that you imagine you want to do. I actually downloaded the app over the weekend and I was hooked. There's so much good information there, right? Okay. If you're all together now, we can now talk about marketing, right? Okay. So there are some very ambitious goals for MoneyLion. And for those of you who want to check them out, you can see exactly how they have actually grown over time and all the ways in which they've actually accomplished some of the things. Given such an ambitious plan to really serve such diverse financial needs of the consumers, right, across a wide spectrum of the economy, what is the rightful role of marketing to really help achieve that ambition? There's a lot going on here, but in terms of how are you focusing your energies and your department?
I mean, all along the funnel, right? If you you saw the app. This is not an app that people will use once a month or once a week, like any bank or financial institution. Most people check their bank account once a week. If they check it more, it's likely because they're about to overdraft. We don't want that relationship with their financial institution. We want people to come because they have a positive relationship. And the KPI that we track for engagement is actually DAO. So for those that are not in mobile marketing, that's daily active usage. Our goal is for people to use our app every single day because there's something to learn every single day. It's not like not every day we're going to offer you a financial product, but every day we're going to teach you something. So I usually start at the bottom of the funnel because I don't want to throw like marketing dollars and new customers if I'm going to churn. So for us, it was very important in the beginning to fix the bottom of the funnel and make sure that people were staying, that we were giving them the right education. This we actually did it through AI, creating segments and creating personas. One of the first things we did when I joined was creating our own CDP. I came from Walmart where the data was so disjointed because it's a legacy company, obviously. So the data was all disjointed. And when I arrived to MoneyLion, I thought the first thing that we need is a repository that has all the data of everyone in a simple way, but that instead of my marketers having to say, okay, who has a car? Let me offer this person car insurance, that uses predictive models to say, if this person has taken this action, the likelihood of the next best action is an auto insurance. And then you remove the need for manual work. So fixing the bottom of the funnel, driving DAO, driving cross-sell, and driving like the behavior of a healthy, engaged customer was the first idea. Then getting higher in the funnel, it's if you think about how much you can personalize, at the bottom you can personalize everything fully one-on-one. Then higher, when somebody arrives to our app, we can't personalize. We know very little about them, but we know enough to prevent mistakes. For example, one of our most popular products is our cash advance. There's a segment of the population that not only doesn't need a cash advance, but gets really turned off by a cash advance, right? Because it's like, this institution is not for me. If they're giving like $200 cash advance, it's not for me. I want the metal card, the black metal card, which we also have. And you know how in marketing we used to say you can't be everything to everyone unless you're Coca-Cola?
That's right.
So for us, we're like, well, we can't be everything only if we segment it. So when you arrive to our app, we had to make sure that at least we segmented you based on certain things we can know when you arrive. What do we know? We know where you came from, if you clicked on an ad or if it was organic. But we also know your IP. We know the phone that you have.
Yeah.
We don't make gross we don't say things like, if you have an old phone, you're probably need a not. Let me tell you, people that don't have a lot of money buy the latest iPhone. So we don't make human decisions. We let the engine decide. This person is most likely gonna be on segment A, B, or C based on the few things that we know when you arrive. And then at the top of the funnel is about like just upper funnel marketing, building the brand with the most efficient way for us has been, we haven't done like big mass media. We work a lot with partners, with sponsorships. We're taking a different approach.
Got it. Okay. This is very interesting, right? In the way you've gone the reversal from the bottom to the top, right? So the evidence of how good this marketing is working is first registered in how effectively has the business been able to scale, right? Grow the customer base, and have they been able to do that in the most efficient way? Well, both of those in your last 2 years of tenure, you've scaled aggressively at some amazingly great economics, like efficiency-wise. So what's working?
My CFO says, I want you to be growth and CAC greedy, which is exactly the opposite that you want your CFO to tell you. Because, I mean, usually if you grow, your CAC gets worse. We have found that by using technology, we can lower CAC, and our CAC has lowered. I think right now our CAC is about $17.
Yeah, I was thinking almost 15.
Yeah. And when like any of our, like the big competitors, the big banks spend like $200, $300, $400 for an account. So we have been able to be efficient. The way that we do it is we have what is as close as a freemium model as it can be on one side. So what's a freemium? A freemium is a business in which you come to the company, you sign up, you get some value for free, but then you get cross-sold into products that cost more.
Of course.
In our case, our cash advance is one of those. It's free. The product is free. The cash advance is free. So then we bring people for a cash advance, and then we help them improve their credit. We have a credit building product, so we help them with other products. So that's one, the freemium model. The other one, which I don't think anybody can replicate, but I'll share it, is we bought a B2B company that powers all of our competitors. So if you go to the let's say that you're in Business Insider and you are reading an article about how to get a personal loan. There's a widget that I'm sure you've seen everywhere in the internet that's like, do you want a personal loan? Put your information here. You put the information and you get offers. My company owns those widgets and we have like a church and state. However, if somebody puts their information, they get 10 offers. They don't take any of the 10 offers. After a certain period of time, those are mine. So then I can use
Yes, yes. The evidence of that strategy can be established by the fact, correct me if I didn't get this right,
Uh-huh.
you have 14 million customers right now, but your database, the CDP, has 32 million users in there.
Per month.
Yeah. And so given that, there is amazing amount of pipeline that is in there that you're tapping into to actually grow your business. Okay. So this is very...
By the way, this is good for our partners too and our competitors because the CDP, we use it to decide which offers we put in front of of the users of our B2B business. So our CDP helps Business Insider and it helps SoFi and it helps Lending Club. Everyone that works with us benefits from our CDP because the more data we collect, the better we're able to match them with the right customer.
Perfect. Okay. So this is the beginnings of something really amazing. This is a big deal. We're going to come to that in a second. All right. This forum was supposed to be about AI. So let's go talk about that. At least 5 minutes on this, right? So what is the role of AI? You've mentioned some of those already, right? I was also explicitly interested in your synergy, which you actually covered between your DTC business and your enterprise, what is called the engine business, right? How much do you control of those managed by the product team and they actually managed all of that?
Actually, no. But first, can I make a joke that I was planning to make? I was like trying to see when can I make it? But you know that joke of like AI in marketing is like adolescent sex. Everybody's talking about it. Nobody's doing it. So it's
This
a good
is
one, no? But we are doing it. AI in marketing.
This is very interesting. I'm so glad you...
Was that too much?
No, wait. You know, I wanted to make that comment, but you made it in a far more effective way because it's understandable. The question is, let's talk about where you see
Yes.
the real use of AI.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot of talk and a lot less substance, frankly, in the way I see it.
Yeah. So in fintech, we have many opportunities to use it in the product as it relates to marketing. What do I'll give you an example of Instacash, which is the product that is as successful as it is because of AI. It's through AI that the product team has been able to reduce fraud and risk. Like, how can you give a cash advance that is free and no recourse? No recourse means I get the cash advance, and if I don't pay it back, the company cannot do anything about it. So the only way we can offer something like that is if we are very sure you're not going to default. So the product has always had great artificial intelligence. It's been perfecting for 10 years. Now, I, as a marketer, have to decide how much I'm willing to pay for each customer. And I'm not willing to pay the same for everyone. And being able to incorporate AI in the bidding process of our engine. So let's say that we have the widget. The widget, not everybody will get, like what you're going to see as a customer in terms of offers has two elements. Am I a match? Like, am I going to I'm pre-approved. So the company, on one side you have users, on the other side you have financial institutions. The financial institutions have to pre-approve you in real time, but also they have to decide how much they're willing to pay for you. And all of this is happening in the millions, 30 million people a month. So it can't be manual. And we do it for our own products that we put in our own engine. We're like one of the players. And I have a team that is every day optimizing the bidding strategy for our own.
Oh, I got it. I got it. Okay. So this is an amazingly interesting use which has this interplay between both marketing, building the database of the large pool of users, as well as instantaneously optimizing the economics of it, both for the partners and for what you guys are selling. Did you guys caught the quick mention that she had, right? Which is they're not just selling their own products, which is the classic bank accounts, and you also have your own cards and stuff like that, but they're selling a ton of other services from God knows what, thousands of different customers who sell their own. Like you can find Geico auto loans in there. You can find State Farm, usage-based loans. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's there. Okay, so what's the point of all of this? This was one example you mentioned. Are you using paid media of any sort?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah.
Does that involve any type of AI or machine learning?
Yes. So we are actually incorporating our CDP into we use Facebook and Google's algorithms, but also we add a layer of our own CDP.
Understood. Yes. Excellent. Gives you some proprietary advantage because you know who you want to really reach and so forth, right? So that
Also because I know their intent.
Yeah.
Like in the CDP, I know this person last week was looking for this product.
Perfect. Your CDP is the source of truth, essentially, of what is the most current on the customer. Okay. Let me cut to the chase here. What's the bottom line in AI here? You've heard a lot. You've read a lot. You can't avoid anything not reading anymore. It's everywhere, right? But let me just give you a quick summary before we open it up for Q&A, which we will have about 2 minutes. There are 3 lanes to the AI. Start with number 1. The machine learning, which started about 10 to 15 years, kind of in that range. What's the goal there? Because we have billions of transactions happening every single day, it's a data hog, and it has all of that data to optimize the hell out of media. That's number 1 use case, right? Where you can target, be very precise, and do all of this. It's a use case that's proven. It's one of the lanes in which we operate. Illumin operates, like so the omnichannel, right? Lane number 1. If you're not doing it, you should. I'm hoping all of you are doing something with it. Lane number 2, the stuff that got all exciting in the past couple, 3 years, the chat GPTs and all the other things that are out there, right? Well, that's all the lane of generative AI, and there is a lot of talk there. I don't think there are a lot of deployments yet. It's just a lot of pilots. There's a lot of learning going on. But the claims are huge on productivity there from the pilots. You can improve productivity from 50% to 80% in there, right? However you make use of it is probably something to experiment with. But the third lane is the big question. It remains unanswered. It's on the minds of every CMO. Can AI drive growth? I'm not talking about AI driving growth for Google or Microsoft or Amazon. That's not the question. It's the brand that's selling cheese. It's the brand that's selling wine. It's the brand that's selling diapers. Can they drive growth using AI? That's the real question. She's giving you an example, an amazingly compelling example as to how you drive growth. So what is it? Well, you need control over the ecosystem. It can't be that you're selling your products only. You need everybody else's. You need to have full coverage across the spend patterns so you can actually make a difference, not just to the partners, to your own products, and to the consumers at large. What does that do? It brings in this whole magnitude of data under your control, which is when AI firepowers your growth. Can you do that? Can a cheese maker like Philadelphia cream cheese drive that kind of equation? It's an open question, guys. I'm asking you this question. I'm reversing it as opposed to the audience asking us the question. I'm asking you. Go ahead.
My answer is yes, owning was the intention. Saw the view that you're going to be getting partner. Was the purpose data collection or
I think it was a little bit of both. I wasn't there when the acquisition happened. I joined right after the acquisition happened. The company was clearly moving on like a path of becoming a marketplace. So it was a first-party product, like it was only selling its own products, and it was on the path of becoming like the Amazon. And the quickest way to become a marketplace is to buy a marketplace and the marketplace technology. So I think it was both. Let's get into the marketplace quickly, and the leads were the cherry on the top. I would say. I don't think that was the main purpose.
Yeah, it's an add-on business model is how they actually explored it. When I listened to D. Shobi on investor calls and stuff like that, that's actually how I learned what his broader ambition was. Vito, I need 2 more minutes that I negotiated with you earlier. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to ask questions because I personally have a lot. But go ahead, please, and give him the mic, please.
All right, thank you. 2 quick questions. If you can share, what's your split on web first or mobile first activation? Like, are you pushing from web to mobile, or are you getting a lot of organic mobile first? And then I have a quick second question.
I'm ashamed to say this, but we are almost entirely an app-based company. It's very hard to build our experience both in the app and the web at the same time. So we are actually now moving to web. We've historically been an app only, like most neobanks have been app only.
Okay. The second question is, what's your experience with generative AI? Because you've talked about a lot of like intelligent BI.
Yes, we are right now building I wouldn't say we're building our model because the models are out there. We're just adding the layer of financial services. And we're starting to use it for search, and it's not financial advice, but it's some financial answers that people can say, like, how long until I can retire? And we look at the data and we can give them the answers. Sometimes it's a crazy answer. So before we release it to our customers, we're doing a ton of QA, and I think everybody's going through the same. That's one of the ones that I wouldn't believe anyone is ready to say, we're going to give financial advice through AI yet.
The interesting part that I see there in the things they are doing, because they have such broad range of content, which is truly, it's almost like a social slice of financial anything, TikTok aggregated out into their environment, literally completely focused on that, which is why when you run the model off of it, it's your proprietary model.
But it's like, let's give you an example. If somebody searches Apple, if you search Apple in a exclusively financial institution, it's going to give you the stock price of Apple. If you search Apple with us, we may have offers at 20% off on apples in Albertsons, or how many apples did you buy last week? Like, we have more information, so we have to. It's good because we can give you a much more accurate answer, but it's also, it can give you like a crazy answer. So I think, and you know how with generative AI, when you want better answers, you lose transparency into how the model works. So we're trying to build a better model, but it's going to take us longer because of the transparency.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, maybe 1 or 2 questions and then we can wrap it. Please, go ahead. Sure. No? Yeah, go.
Okay, great. Hi. I love the fact how you're generating leads from the premium and from your lead gen model. And so then you have a lot of information about how to convert those folks into paying customers. what does your marketing team do? Like, do you bucket into like high, medium, and low? How do you vary the marketing strategy or the ways to engage? Because you have that data, but then how do you actually put it into action?
Like, how do I organize my marketing team?
Yeah. And the marketing mix or the channels or the methodologies, the frequency, all of that, because data is only as good as your ability to act on it.
So I have a slightly different approach to the marketing organization that I've taken before in this case, which is I hire mostly generalists because our strategies change all the time. We don't do quarterly planning or yearly planning. We do sprint planning. So we align to whatever the tech team is doing. And we have three big goals: making sure that we appear everywhere people search for money, and then 2 more. And then we align on the strategies and assign KPIs. So I obviously have people focused on the upper part of the funnel, brand, people focused on the lower part of the funnel, acquisition, people focused on retention, and some subject matter experts. I don't think I answered your question, so we can talk later in the break because Vito is stop.
Vito, I see that you're giving me dirty looks, but we are done. Thank you so much. We really enjoyed the conversation.